Hey, young historians, Mr. Moran here. In the last couple of lessons, you've learned about Jamestown, and you just learned about the Castillo San Marcos, and you learned about the lost colony of Roanoke. So we've been kind of focusing on those colonies to the south, the modern day south in the United States. But now we're going to shift up to what we call the New England area. This is Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, around this area. And we're going to learn about the establishment of, of some colonies up in modern day Massachusetts. They were created by the Puritans and the Pilgrims, and sometimes people use these terms interchangeably, which is technically not correct. And we don't have time to get into that. But what we're going to be focusing on is a group of English separatists, is what they were called. Sometimes people call them Puritans, and what motivated them to leave England, and what did they do once they established a colony in modern day Massachusetts. So I'm going to read this out loud, and you're welcome to watch this video and listen to it, or you can read this independently and then answer those questions that go along with this. Not all the English separatists set out for the New World. The first group to leave England actually headed for the Dutch Netherlands in 1608. They become uneasy in their new land as their children started speaking Dutch and abandoning English traditions. Even worse to the separatists, the tolerance shown to them by the Dutch was shown to many different faiths. They became disgusted with the attention paid to worldly goods in the presence of many unholy faiths. Oh, got to give some background information here. So, the Puritans in this time period in England, there was a lot of political turmoil between the Catholics and the Protestants. I mean, it was really bad. People were being killed, burnt at the stake. The monarchy was changing back and forth between Catholics and Protestants. And so when the monarchy changed faiths, everyone in the country had to change faiths. If you didn't, you were going to be killed. And so the Puritans got tired of this. And so they said, hey, we're leaving. And so they went to the Netherlands. The great separatist experiment in the Netherlands came to a quick end as they began to look elsewhere for a purer place to build their society. Some headed for English islands in the Caribbean. Those who would be forever known to future Americans as the Pilgrims set their sights on the New World in the late 1620s. Crossing the Atlantic, over 100 travelers embarked on the voyage of the Mayflower in September 1620. Less than one-third were separatists. The rest were immigrants, adventurers, and speculators. When the weather was good, the passengers could enjoy hot food cooked on the deck. When there was high wind or storms, they lived on salted beef, a dried biscuit called hardtack, other dried vegetables, and beer. Nearest thing to resemble a bathroom was a bucket. So what they're trying to say is it wasn't an easy voyage over. Their voyage took about 2 months, and the passengers enjoyed a happier experience than most transatlantic trips. One death was suffered, and one child was born. The child was named Oceanus, after the watery depths beneath them. Are we there yet? One of the greatest twists of fate in human history occurred on that epic voyage. The Pilgrims were originally bound for Virginia to live north of Jamestown under the same charter granted to citizens of Jamestown. Now remember, charters kind of like the Constitution. It's like a guideline of what you can and cannot do, and it was given to the people by the king. Fate charted a different course. Lost at sea, they happened upon a piece of land that would become known as Cape Cod, which is located in Massachusetts. After surveying the land, they set up camp not too far from Plymouth Rock. They feared venturing further south because winter was fast approaching. The Pilgrims had an important question to answer before they set ashore. Since They were not landing within the jurisdiction of the Virginia Company. They had no charter to govern them. Who would rule their society? In the landmark Mayflower Compact of 1620, the Pilgrims decided that they would rule themselves based on majority rule of townsmen. This independent attitude set up a tradition of self-rule that would later lead to town meetings and elected legislators in New England. Like the Virginia House of Burgesses, established the previous year, Plymouth colony began to lay the foundation for democracy in American colonies. So now you've listened to me read this and you've watched this video. Now answer some questions that go along with this. Thanks, historians. Bye.